Hi everyone, my name is Sydney Hall and I'm a senior at Western Carolina University majoring in communication with double concentrations in public relations and journalism. So I'm here to talk to you guys today about the job I had on campus as a residential assistant and how that job was impacted by COVID-19. So I became an RA the fall of my senior year, so it was the school year of 2019 to 2020. This was my first year ever being an RA, so I was an early college student, meaning I had already had a community college associate's degree, and I would only have 2 years at Western. So to be an RA, you have to be an on-campus resident student living on campus for at least a year. So I couldn't apply my first year, so I applied my second year and my last year. So I did not know all that was going to go into my RA job. So I knew that we had to plan programs and, you helped your residents kind of transition through that college experience. And, you made long-lasting friendships with your coworkers and things like that. I had heard a lot about it and I did a lot of research on it, and when I applied for the job, I had looked at the job description probably 1,000 times before I had even applied for it. But I finally applied and I got in, and I was placed in Judicola Hall. Judicola is right above Harrell Hall on WCU's campus, so you walk up, it's above the Brown Dining Hall, right past Allen Hall, the new freshman residence hall. So I was placed there, and when you live in Judicola, it's a suite style dorm. So what that means is that there are usually 4 people living in one suite, so apartment style. There are 4 individual rooms, and each person shares 2 showers and 1 bathroom, and then 2 sinks. So it's kind of like a mini apartment. So I was placed there, and I started my job, and I didn't know how I was going to like it. I was just nervous because I was going to be not in charge of my residents, but in charge of my residents, because I was going to make sure that everyone was following the rules and everyone followed the policies that Western needs us to enforce and things like that. So I didn't really know what to expect, but I was very blessed to have amazing, amazing residents. So my hall consisted of 36 residents, and that number fluctuated as people came to the university, came to the residence hall, or they dropped out, or they left the residence hall, things like that. So that number definitely fluctuated, but what didn't fluctuate is how much my residents impacted me in a positive way, and how much this job impacted me in a positive way. So like I said, I was very blessed because I had amazing coworkers that I got to meet and to grow to love, and to grow to just love working with them. And I was very blessed to have an amazing group of coworkers. So that was great. And the fact that I was nervous about my residents liking me. I'm a people pleaser to the max, and I was just nervous about how my residents were going to take me and how things were going to go. But it turned out to be a very, very positive experience, and it was something that I recommended to anyone that asked me about it, and I still would to this day. It was probably my favorite job that I've ever had in my entire life. And it's just, it's just a little heartbreaking because with COVID-19, COVID-19 kind of hit around spring break. So we were on spring break the week of March 8th, and that week, at the end of that week, we were told that we were going to be put on an extended spring break. Now, I had heard about coronavirus. I'd read some articles about it. I didn't really understand it to the fullest, other than it was a virus that was spreading. And I didn't understand to the full extent how it was going to affect me as a student, me as a senior, and me as a residential assistant, until I was told that I had to move out, which was very heartbreaking because I loved my job, and I loved my residents, and I loved being an RA. I was told, it was the week of March 17th, we were told that we needed to come and gather essential items from campus, and we needed to, to move like your textbooks and your clothes and that kind of stuff. They said essential items. And then we got an email a day later on March 18th saying, if you can, move everything out. Like, we don't know if campus is going to be put back into like face-to-face instruction, things like that. So we weren't sure what was going to happen. So I came up on the 17th, and I came and got my essential items and all that good stuff. And there I was met by one of the supervisors of residential living, and she was like, I'm going to need your work keys. And that was definitely a heartbreaking moment for me, just because the fact that I had to hand over those work keys, it was kind of like a signed, sealed, delivered, this is over and your job is, being terminated. And residential living took great care of us. We're still getting a paycheck. We had amazing supervisors. I can't even begin to talk about how wonderful my boss was. He was just wonderful, and my supervisors were great. My residential case managers were a huge help. Residential living really took care of their RAs. It was just very heartbreaking to see that, I didn't get to finish out that full year of my job, and I didn't get to finish that full year of being an RA and, impacting my residents and having my residents impact me. And I didn't get to have those final few events. I mean, just something as simple as that was definitely heartbreaking for me. And just to say it was all impacted by something that I didn't even think was going to impact my schooling at all was insane. And, I just hate that I had to end everything like this. And being a first-year RA, I didn't have the opportunity. I did make a lot of memories, don't get me wrong. I made a lot of memories with my coworkers and with friends and things like that as an RA and with my residents. But the fact that I don't get to say, like, oh, I did this for the whole 4 years I was at Western, or I have next year to be an RA. It's like I had this one opportunity, and I felt like it was sort of taken away from me. But I understand the circumstances, and like I said, residential living really took care of their RAs, and they took care of their students and the on-campus residents. They did such an amazing job, and I'm so proud to say I worked for such a wonderful organization and for such wonderful people that have huge hearts and just love for all the students and for the RAs and everything like that. So I'm definitely very grateful, but I'm just sad that it all had to end in this way. So, but in the future, for future RAs, for people who are thinking about being an RA, like I said, I recommend this to anyone. It is such an impactful job. I feel like I'm a stronger leader, and I also feel more secure in my decision-making skills and secure in the way that I make decisions about, ethical decisions and how I approach people and how I approach people of different cultures and races and genders and everything going on. I feel more prepared for that, and I feel like I can be more respectful of that. And just because I've been exposed to so many different things on this job. And I definitely, like I said, I recommend it to anyone who's thinking of applying. Talk to other RAs and get their input on the job. And because, like I said, I'm just going to recommend it to everyone because I really, really loved it, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity for students to not only make a paycheck, but to really make an impact on your peers and on yourself. So I definitely recommend that, and this is the story of how COVID-19 impacted my senior year of college and residential living jobs. So thank you guys.